Welcome to Americana Archives. Today's headline is Road for Liberty like Paul Revere. The subheadline says, Caesar Rodney is one of America's Independence Day heroes. It says, how the historians and romanticists have missed the true and dramatic story of Caesar Rodney's ride is one of the mysteries which surround the Declaration of Independence. Thomas McKean, one of the free signers of the Declaration from Delaware, has given unassailable proof of the essential facts in the case of Caesar Rodney and his ride. According to letters written by him, and particularly one to Caesar Rodney's nephew, McKean sent word by a horseman to Rodney, who was then ill at Byfield, one of his farms near Dover, Delaware, that his vote was absolutely necessary if freedom was to be proclaimed. Pennsylvania and South Carolina had voted against independence. New York held aloof because their delegates had not received instructions from the assembly of that colony. Congress was in turmoil, the army panic-stricken, the sentiment for submission to Great Britain growing stronger hourly in all the colonies. It was necessary that all the colonies should vote in the affirmative if independence was to be proclaimed. In the vote that was taken in the State House, now Independence Hall, on July 1st, Delaware's vote was not cast, there being two of the free delegates present. Thomas McKean voted for freedom, and George Reed against it. Caesar Rodney, as has been said, was ill in his home. His affliction was a cancer that had attacked his face to such an extent that he was compelled to wear a veil to conceal the fearful ravages of the disease. For this reason, he had never married. The malady had progressed for 4 years at the time of these occurrences. McKean, shrewdly calculating that if Delaware's vote were cast for independence on the following day, Pennsylvania and South Carolina might be induced to change their decisions, determined upon the desperate expedient of sending for his sick and cruelly disfigured colleague. Estimating at his true worth the patriotism and determination of Rodney, he instructed the messenger to arrange at his McKean's expense relays of horses to carry Rodney on his ride of 70 miles. In spite of the terrific heat, the urging of relatives, and the command of a nurse and a physician who warned him the task might mean death, the patriotic Delawarean arose from his sickbed and set out for Philadelphia with the messenger. So eager and determined was he that his companion was soon left behind, and Rodney rode alone for the torture of that blistering July weather. McKean relates that he met Rodney at the State House door as he dismounted and assisted him into the chamber. There, with the remnant of his strength, Caesar Rodney cast the vote of Delaware for independence. It is McKean again, corroborated by Adams, Franklin, and others, who relates that Edward Rutledge of South Carolina thereupon was deeply moved and changed the vote of his colony. After a stormy scene, the Pennsylvania delegates who were opposed to the resolution declaring liberty removed themselves from the Congress, and the patriotic faction, with Benjamin Franklin at its head, promptly cast the colony's ballot for independence. The terrible strain of the ride told severely for a time upon Caesar Rodney, but he rallied and lived a few years longer, dying at Byfield in 1784, a serene, courageous death in his 46th year. Of all the signers of the Declaration, Caesar Rodney is the only one of whom there is no portrait. The late Thomas F. Bayard of Delaware, United States Senator and Secretary of State, was one of those who held the opinion that a portrait showing his veiled face would appeal strongly to the patriotism of the American people. John Adams has given an excellent description of Rodney in one of his letters to his wife. He shows the patriot as tall and excessively thin, due to the malady that killed him. His head, according to Adams, was abnormally small, scarcely larger than 2 big apples. His manner was gentle and kindly, but deeply impressive when he was aroused. He looked upon death cheerfully, walking with it always. His patriotism was of the highest quality, and his statesmanship remarkable for its plain, homely sense. This article originally came from the Philadelphia Press. This story came from the great state of Indiana, being reported in the Plain Dealer of June 28, 1917. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to continue to uncover all of America's lost and forgotten history, then remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and comment below. And we will see you next time on Americana Archives.